Shalom, Yeshabala. First and foremost, time to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to those La'akim that's preach the word in all truth and sincerity. Alone to Israelite foreigner brothers that like the heathens. But the line of outside goes back to nation of Israel, which nation of Israel are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So this is really your call, a mop lesson. And today's lesson will be entitled, Be Ready to Forsake All. I'm just going to go on some precepts and Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemon Shai. And I looked at that word forsake. It means abandon someone or something. It says abandon, desert, leave, quit, depart from, leave behind. And when you go to the second entry of the definition, renounce or give up something valued or pleasant. Right. Because it's coming down to the wire, very soon, us in this truth, we're going to have to forsake everything that we have in this world, which really we don't own anything anyways, man. From we're going to have to forsake, our jobs, our apartments, our houses, our family, all to follow Yahweh Shemon Shai, man, because when our MOTB be pushed, you know, uh, be made mandated according to Revelation 13:16 and Revelation 3 and 10, we really going to have to live off the grid, man, and I'm going to go into two accounts with our forefathers, that they had to flee to the wilderness, man, to be off the grid due to persecution, and that's the same manner we're going to have to do very soon, you see. But this is Matthew 19 and verse 27, and it reads, Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Right, so this is Apostle Peter speaking, which at this time he was a disciple, which he was the head of the church, because the disciples, they had to forsake everything to follow our Lord Yahushua, man, and Peter, he also had a wife too, so brothers that got wives and children, if it come down to it, if they submit, if brothers' wives submit unto Esau by taking the MOTB, then you don't have to forsake them, man, because, once, you know, whoever Israelite, whether it be a man or a woman that's now the elect and they take the chip, the Lord's going to utterly destroy them, man, because they accepted Esau as their God, you see. So, brothers that do have, um, wives and children, just consider that, that your family may not make it, you know. So, but keep going. This is Matthew 19:28, and it reads, And Yahweh Shai said unto them, Verily I say unto you, which verily means truly, that ye which have followed me in a regeneration, which regeneration is another word for reincarnation, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So, right, that's a great reward, And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. Right, man? So that applies to us as well today. So whatever we forsake on this side, we're gonna get it all back in the kingdom a hundredfold, man. Because like I was saying earlier, we don't have nothing anyways in this society, man. You know, everything that we have now is temporal. Even these bodies that we have, these fleshly, sinful bodies. Because Lord willing, part of the elect, when Yahweh Shai delivers us, Lord willing, we're not even taking these bodies with us, man. So how much more for all the valuables, the so-called valuables on the earth that we got, that's gonna be burned up by the nuclear destruction, the fervent heat, man. that's gonna come from the missiles. You see, that's gonna melt everything. Now let's go to the first account when concerning our righteous forefathers, you know, uh, having to flee due to persecution during the Greek Empire, which was the Maccabean revolt. That was led by Mattathias, which was the father of Judas Maccabees and his brothers. And that account is found in First Maccabees 2 and verse 23. And the point is in verse 28, but I'm just going to start at 23 to build up the vibration. And like I said, this was during the time of the Greek Empire when Antiochus Epiphanes IV, which he was an Edomite, this is a time when he started to Hellenize our people, to make them become Greeks, worship Greek gods, worship all the Greek customs from wearing togas, bald heads, tattoos, not allowing our sons to be circumcised, and to eat all manner of unclean beasts, such as pork and stuff, man, and sacrificing pork on the altar, worshiping the Greek gods, Jupiter and Zeus and stuff, man, and just being totally like heathens. But this is First Maccabees 2 and 23, and it reads, "Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment." Now this Jew, Israelite, this was a sellout, you know, a wicked man, Israelite man. It says, which thing when Mattathias saw, which Mattathias once again was the father of Judas Maccabees and his brethren, that led the Maccabean revolt against the Greek Empire, against Antiochus Epiphanes IV during this time. It says he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled, neither could he forbear to shew his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. So Mattathias, he had that great zeal. The Spirit of the Lord hopped on him, and he was inflamed with that zeal, and he slew that wicked Israelite that sacrificed on the altar that was at Modin, man. It says also the king's commissioner. So Mattathias, he also slew the king's commissioner, because the commissioner wanted Mattathias to sacrifice too, because he knew Mattathias was highly respected amongst, our people, and he was a leader, so they know once you can get the leader to sacrifice, which will be the shepherd, then the sheep is going to follow the shepherd, you see. It says also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time in the altar he pulled down, man. So Mattathias, he killed the wicked Israelite individual that sacrificed, at Modin, the king's commissioner, and you know, um, the wicked individuals. It says, thus dealt he zealously for the law of Yahweh, like as Phoenix did unto Zambri the son of Salam. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. That's right, man. So that's the point I want to get. So they had to flee, because that was persecution during that time. They had to flee into the mountains, man. They had to be off the grid. So that's the same thing we're gonna have to do real soon. When Esau come down with great wrath, according to Revelation 12 and 12, by way of his military troops to try to apprehend us, because it is written that some elect will be in a FEMA cancer, concentration camps, and they're going to be beheaded in the name of Yahweh Shemosha by not taking the MOTB, according to Revelation 24. So, but for the most part, the Lord's going to be looking out. Most brothers going to be saved, the elect, that is. So, this was account. This was a foreshadowing to remind us today, that we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to have to flee. We're going to have to be out the grid, man. So it will behoove us to, just to start getting in that wilderness type spirit. And, you know, I know for myself, I got to, start watching those videos, and being, you know, them Edomites being in the woods and stuff, setting up camp and how to make a fire and stuff. We have to start watching videos like that to prepare our minds because we won't have to possibly do that, you know? So, how to make a fire, how to, build a tent, you know, things of that sort, man. You see? And know about the knowing about the special types of herbs too, which we understand the Lord's going to provide for us, but the Lord loves none but Him. But the Lord loved none but Him, not dwelleth with wisdom. So it will be wise just to know, the basics. You know, um, Second Edges 5 and verse, Second Maccabees 5:27. This is Second Maccabees 5 and verse 27, and it reads, "But Judas Maccabees with 9 others or thereabout withdrew himself into the wilderness." See, so Judas Maccabees and 9 others, they withdrew themselves into the wilderness and lived in the mountains after the manner of the beast, with his company, who fed on herbs continually, lest they should be partakers of the pollution. Right. So, man of the Lord, this proves man of the Lord knew about the herbs. So, I'm not saying you gotta be a herbalist or nothing, but just to know, a few just to know something about some type of herbs, man. Ginger, turmeric, onions, certain tree leaves, you know, just so we can, you know, just so we can know something, you see? And so that was one account of our righteous forefathers having to flee into the wilderness and the mountains to flee persecution. And they forsook everything that he had, you know? And the next account is with King David, you know? Because King David, he was on the run from King Saul, because King Saul was jealous of King David because King Saul knew that King David was better than him, you know? And he was jealous of him, and King Saul wanted to kill King David. But this is 1 Samuel 23 and verse 13 through 15. And it reads, "Then David and his men, which were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah, and went whithersoever they could go. And it was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he forbare to go forth. And David abode in the wilderness in strongholds, and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day," meaning Saul was looking for David every day. "But Yahweh delivered him not into his hand." That's the thing too, I can, you know, Lord Woman Party elect. Esau's is gonna be hunting for us, man. He's gonna be looking for us, you know. But if we party elect, the Lord's not gonna have Esau find us, man. You see, it says in verse 15, "And David saw that Saul was coming out to seek his life, and David was in the wilderness of Ziph in the wood," man. So I just wanted to get this quick account to prove that David, he was off the grid. He was in the wilderness, because they have families too. David and his 600 men, they have families and wives and children too. So if it is destined for brothers that do got wives and children, if it is destined from the Lord for them to be saved, they will be saved, you know, by you. You see? So, but I was just saying in the beginning, for brothers that do have wives and children, they may make it and may not, you know, because if your wife takes that MOTB, according to Revelation 13:16, and have your children take it too, then there's no salvation for them, man. You're gonna have to forsake them. Sad to say, but really, the Lord's gonna give us everything in the kingdom, man. You know, it's gonna give us 100-fold in the kingdom, as we read earlier. So, yeah, it can hurt the flesh, like dang, but we had a comforter, Akim, to know that the Lord is gonna give us, it's gonna bless us 100-fold in the kingdom, man. Lord, want to be part of the elect for everything that we lost on this side, man. Everything that we got on this side, like I was saying, we don't own anyways. Is damaged goods. You know, everything that we got on this side is polluted anyways. So, really, our losses are really our wins, our gains in the Lord. You see, because it may not seem like it to the flesh, but in the spirit, it's a gain. It's a loss to the flesh, but in the spirit, it's a gain, man. And we always gotta remember that. So I just end off with one last precept. You know, pretty much made the point. Psalms 46:10, and it reads, "Be still and know that I am Yahweh. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth." Right. So the Lord said, "Be still and know that I am the Most High." Being still meaning, be relaxed. Chill out. Basically, what the Lord is saying, because to know that He is the Most High, nothing is impossible with the Lord. All things are possible with our God, Yahweh Shemon Shai, man. You know, when you read verse 7, it says, "The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge, Salah." So we really have to believe that, Akin, when all hell break loose. Of course, we always say Lord willing, but it has to come to a point where we got to believe. Our faith can be wavering. We can't be wavering. It can't be shaken. We can't be shaking the mind. We have to fully believe that the Lord is with us, man. He's going to provide for us and make right decisions. So, yeah, I just want to make a quick lesson on that. Lord willing, I was edified. And until next time, Shalom.